Alright. So this will be part 2 for yesterday's video because sorry guys, I was not feeling well yesterday at all. I had to cut the video. I had to cut part 1 or the original video short because I wasn't feeling well after I had come back because of everything. So because they put me on a lot of new stuff, so I'm gonna have to see how that all goes. And things. So I'm gonna have to take it easy. I guess it really depends. Anyway, so I was doing some research yesterday. By the way, actually, I want to tell you guys, and after so Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu gave those two big UN meetings. On the 23rd and the 25th of September, where they went to talk about going to work on trying to bring peace to the Middle East and in the Gaza war. They're also talking about freeing the hostages. I also have heard some news that apparently they do have a possible deal that could happen where they could free the hostages. I think the rapture is very soon. I think it's about to happen, and I think it's going to happen in September. I'm not saying any dates. I'm not putting any times. I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, it's going to happen on this particular time or date. No, I'm not doing that. But I'm saying it's close. It's about to be here. And something's going to occur soon. We're very close to something happening. Something big's about to happen, definitely. There's no doubt about it. I would advise people to come to God before it's too late, man. Get on the ark. Accept Christ while you still can, while you're still technically still in the time of grace where people, where it's free. Before it happens, it happens to where after you do that, you will be killed or martyred for your belief and possibly be killed for not taking the mark of the beast. So I believe it's coming. I believe it's coming soon. The pieces are definitely lining up. All Israel's by themselves except for the U.S. and all the other countries are coming up against them, getting ready to divide them to try to force them to agree to this deal. And we had Trump and Bibi both on the same page talking about peace in Gaza, trying to end the war with Hamas. October 7th and trying to get all that fixed. Trying to free the hostages and everything. A discussion on whether they're going to be able to bring peace to the Middle East. You have them working on trying to strengthen and do a bunch of stuff to the Abraham Accords, man. I mean, we've got so many things in the news. I've got some news here to cover for you guys, but there's some big stuff to talk about and discuss. But some interesting stuff. I am really looking into that whole thing with Trump today. hopefully nothing happens. But like I have wondered about the fact that I've wondered about the fact that something could happen or they would try something prior to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Right before or when he's trying to work about bringing peace and ending these wars and stopping all these things and trying to bring some sort of stability to the Middle East, including with Hamas and the hostages. Someone would try to put out another attempt on his life. I'm not saying that's the case, but we really need to pay attention to that and be watching that. I was reading about what was going to happen with this event. So on September 26th, Trump's supposed to be heading to the Ryder Cup, which is a golf tournament between the U.S. and the Europeans, and it's in New York City. It's in New York City. And Trump will be meeting with. Trump will be at this place. It's called. This place for the tournament. It's called Bethpage Black. It's Bethpage Black is where the tournament's going to be held, and he's going to be going there from 11:30 a.m. to I think it's supposed to arrive there at 11:30. Gates open, heightened security. Here, let me see. Here it is. So this is what they're saying about the Ryder Cup. It's from the 23rd of September to the 28th. It's in Bethpage Black, Farmingdale, New York. The Let's see here a minute. Give me a second. It says September 26th. Gates open at 5 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. Box office 4:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Morning foursome matches begin 7:10 a.m. and afternoon four-ball matches begin 12:25 p.m. It says here this is from Reuters. It says extra security, snarling traffic at Ryder Cup as fans await Trump. It says New York, Farmingdale, New York, September 26th. Reuters heightened security measures and bumper-to-bumper traffic greeted fans on the first day of the Ryder Cup competition at Bethpage Black on Friday, where U.S. President Donald Trump was expected to arrive around 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Traffic choked the roadways around the sprawling Long Island venue, where regions of fans shuffled in long before the sun was up to catch sight of twice major winner John Ram teeing off for Team Europe. After getting through the front gates, ticket holders navigated another level of security with a row of metal detectors provided by the Transportation Security Administration and Secret Service standing between them and the first tee. It says basically there's a lot of security measures heading into this meeting or at this event since the Charlie Kirk shooting happened, and the Secret Service advised fans that it would take them roughly 10 to 15 minutes to get through the line. Minutes before play began, a modest wait compared to what was seen at the U.S. Open tennis in Queens earlier this month, where Trump's appearance preceded security delays. Hours later, the line had dwindled, allowing for attendees to breeze through security. Says the crowd at a patriotic field as the fans wearing festive red, white, and blue outfits are prepared to cheer on the Americans who are waiting to take the Ryder Cup crown on their home turf. Ticket holders placed to pack the grandstands. Hold on a minute, actually. I got it right here. Give me a minute. Is this say what to expect from the Ryder Cup when Trump attends? This is what it's saying was happening for him today. So this was a big news story that broke that I wanted to share with y'all. They're definitely preparing big time for something happening or possible event. I think they're doubling down after what happened to Charlie Kirk at the Utah State campus when he got shot in the neck, and they're getting very strict with tight with security with a lot of places now that Trump's gone certain places. But Trump goes to the Ryder Cup today on the 26th of September in New York City. He was already in New York for the United Nations meeting. He already was at the UN meeting to give a speech. He was already there to give a speech at the United Nations meeting before he left to go to before he travels to the Ryder Cup. Or the Ryder Cup. So it says, Farmingdale, New York, if two things... the White House said Friday morning that Trump was expected to fly from Washington and arrive at Bethpage sometime after 11 a.m. Eastern. A bit before the day's second session of matches begins at 12:25 p.m. He's expected to leave the Ryder Cup at about 3:30 p.m. The White House said likely as some of the four-ball pairings are on the back nine. It also said Trump will not be there for the presentation of the Ryder Cup either. Since though Trump is arriving midway through Friday's activities, his appearance will create a day-long stress test for the event held at one of 5 public courses at Bethpage State Park on Long Island. It says, I hope he'll inspire us to victory. I think he'll be a great force for us to get a lot of people on our side, says Bryson DeChumbio, who is playing for the U.S. team, but was also appointed by Trump last month to be chair of the Council on Sports and Fitness. It's going to be an electric environment, he added. More than 50,000 fans are expected at Bethpage Black, riding by all means of transportation for an event most known for iconic opening tee shots against a rising sun packed grandstands. People are probably going to ask you, well, why are you talking about Trump attending a golf tournament when when you don't even care much about golf? And no, I don't really care that much about golf, but I'm telling you that this is something people should pay attention to and watch. That this could be what they're going to do in the future. This is very well could be what they're going to do at future events that you go to in the future with what's happened. they're so titled. They've been this. It seems it literally is like they're like the tightest they've been on security since 9/11, bro. And y'all remember what happened? Y'all remember, right? Charlie Kirk was shot the day after 9/11, bro. Like he was shot the day right after 9/11. When 9/11 occurred. Not to mention, like you have uh not to mention you have like uh Trump going to New York to see the Detroit game. And I was a little bit I thought about that a little bit. Something could happen on that day, so you never know, man. People need to be praying for our leaders and our president and everyone else, and they need to be watching out, looking, and they need to be ready for the rapture any day now because it's about to come. They need to be alert and aware of things to know what's happening and be prepared. Because we're living in a very scary world now since this shooting took place, and you never know what's going to happen now. So, just saying, we need to be very open to a possibility of something happening to not only our president but other leaders in this world, man. So seems like he's got a really good security team around him and stuff, and they're gonna keep it from something happening to him, but you don't ever know. And what are you doing?
Checking for Bullet's cat hair, just to make the bed up so he doesn't get cat hair. Hey, I'm calling about a prescription that was sent in yesterday for Michael Cleveland. I called last night and they said that you were waiting on something, but he's already missed one dose of his B-Spar, and I don't want him to miss the morning dose as well. And he told me that you could go ahead and fill that. So, working on B-Spar or all of it? Okay. All right. So, when can I come get that?
So yeah, man, we need to be watching out for that stuff and aware of what's coming. I trust God that He will make sure nothing bad happens, but you don't ever know, man. It says that Trump's gonna be sitting behind bulletproof glass again, for the cup and everything. So I just wanted to tell y'all guys about that. I don't know if a lot of people have been talking about that or not, but his visit to the Raider Cup today was big, and I actually forgot that he was going to the Raider Cup. I forgot about that. I knew that he had to meet. I knew that he was going to be in New York for a bunch of stuff, but I forgot about that. The only thing I remember him being in New York for was the United Nations meeting, the United Nations meeting speech. But I forgot he was going to the Raider Cup. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know this, but like this is at the same time Trump goes to the Raider Cup is when him and Benjamin Netanyahu were supposed to be meeting at the White House on the 29th of September to discuss stuff about the Gaza war and Israel and the hostages. Right after these two showed up to give their speeches, give their speeches for the United Nations General Assembly. in September. But this is the last. This is right after they chose to give their speeches. And I looked more into this, and apparently Trump, Trump and Bibi have not met since July the 7th at the White House, since the last time at the White House. So this big meeting between Trump and Bibi on the 29th of September is going to be huge. I'm going to be looking at that and paying attention to that and watching that. I'm probably going to be covering that for the channel, but there are a lot of interesting things happening going forward with this. Okay, so it says, though Trump is arriving midway through Friday's activities, his appearance could create ticket attendees are strongly urged to arrive as early as possible. The PGA announced in a statement on Wednesday and should budget extra time as they plan their day. The PGA added guests should expect temporary delays moving around publicly accessible areas inside and outside of the Bethpage Black Golf Course. These areas may briefly become restricted or frozen spaces before, during, or after the event. On Thursday, new fencing was being erected on the sprawling property on Friday after the Secret Service swept the areas around the clubhouse for the first tee were expected to be treated as bubbles with intense security measures in place. Multiple sources briefed on the PGA of America's logistical plan confirmed to The Athletic. The sources spoke on condition of anonymity because of the heightened security around Trump's visit. Some items typically allowed at major golf events will, this instance, not be permitted on Friday. Yeah, they banned a lot of things that normally you can get, or normally that you can have coming into the event. In the first tee grandstand or clubhouse area of the golf course, including portable folding chairs, insulated beverage containers, large umbrellas, and rangefinders. Yeah, they're not allowing. Apparently people can use rangefinders on the golf course. They're not allowing people to use rangefinders with Trump attending, and that makes a lot of sense because that could allow someone to spot an area. So yeah, this event is the strictest it's been since walking into an airport with TSA, bro, or 9/11. They're definitely getting really strict about their security measures. That's something that bothers me a little bit about the events now, is that they're very, very, very they're now very strict on security measures and what you can and can't do in certain areas now. Like the biggest it's been since 9/11, in my opinion. But yeah, they're calling for strict security measures in certain places. So I don't know, man. I'm interested to see where all this is going to go. Where all this stuff is going to go with these events going forward in the future. But I'm telling you, man, we've seen the strictest security measures at events since 9/11, especially when it comes to Trump. So anyway, says on Friday, once on site at Bethpage, Trump will be squarely in the middle of a spectacle. The 45th Ryder Cup is expected to be a partisan affair, won in his favor. During Wednesday's opening ceremony, team captains Keegan Bradley, USA, and Luke Donald, Europe, each acknowledged Governor Kathy Hochul of New York, a Democrat, generating heavy boos from several thousand fans. It remains unclear how Trump intends to view the competition, where the president and his entourage could occupy a secure luxury suite at Arthur Ashe Stadium and at Yankee Stadium for a recent September 11th remembrance. Golf is a mobile game played across a few hundred acres. Organizers are expected to interview the start of the afternoon sport matches from a seat in the first row of the grandstand. It's unknown where Trump plans to play after the first afternoon tee shots and how long he expects to remain on site. A White House spokesperson did not offer any details when contacted for specifics of Trump's plans, citing security concerns. Justin Rose, a European making his seventh Ryder Cup appearance, told reporters Wednesday that, by all accounts, the president will not necessarily be on the tee box with us or roaming the course. That doesn't mean his presence won't be felt. Trump's ties to professional golf, along with everything from hosting PGA Tour and LIV golf events at his various resorts, to playing casual rounds with the likes of Tiger Woods and Roy McIlroy, to appear on Deschamps' YouTube channel, to landing and subsequently losing hosting duties for the 2022 PGA Championship. That major championship moved from Trump Bedminster to Southern Hills Soling events of January 6, 2021, is run by the same organization responsible for the Ryder Cup, the PGA of America. So, we'll see where this goes, man. This is going to be huge, and I'm going to be watching the news to see if anything possibly happens to Trump or something could happen to him, because I feel like, can't be too careful. You never know. But hopefully it doesn't. But people need to pray for the president, man. Make sure he don't get hurt or nothing happens to him. But since he's supposed to be standing behind bulletproof glass, as far as I know of, so. And apparently this was on Facebook about the plan the Secret Service had with Trump. It says he's in a $10 million steel golf cart. It's called Golf Force One. 10 million ring of steel as Trump heads to Ryder Cup with snipers, stops, lockdowns, and armor-plated golf buggy. Former Secret Service agents have spoken about the security threat the U.S. faces in light of the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk. One spectator who will be at the Bethpage Black Golf Course is an avid golfing fan. Donald Trump, but his presence alone means there will be a huge security operation in place. It says Ryder Cup's ring of steel. Former Secret Service agents have speculated about the security plans for this year's Ryder Cup could look like. It says this year's Ryder Cup comes at a time when the security threat facing America has never been graver, ex-Secret Service agents have told the U.S. Sun. The assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk was a little over 2 weeks ago, and Trump himself survived 2 attempts on his life in a run-up to last year's presidential election. One of the attempted assassination attempts against Trump happened at his West Palm Beach, Florida golf course, September 2024. It says the entire security operation could cost as much as $10 million. Ex-Secret Service agent Donald Lane admitted. It will involve local, state, and federal agencies working together. But a team of Secret Service agents will flank Trump and watch his every move. Trump is expected to arrive at Bethpage just after 11 a.m. local time. Lane suggested it was more likely than not that Trump's armored golf cart, dubbed Golf Force One, will be on display. Curiosity grew when the $28,000 security fortress made an appearance at Trump's Turnberry Golf Course at Ayrshire in July. The cart has steel or composite plating, a bulletproof glass windshield, and extra paneling for protection. Fans will have to go through the airport-like security when they arrive at the course, which is considered one of the hardest in the world. In some places, you will have metal detectors set up where people will not have to put their belongings in a tray and go through x-ray machines, Lane said. You may have folks landing and asking if they can see IDs. Semi-trailers will be dotted around the perimeter of the course to block the line of sight, according to the former agent. This is so you can't sit up on a building somewhere and shoot onto the site, he explained. Hundreds of troopers from upstate New York will be deployed to the 1,477 acre course. Counter snipers will be on standby and surrounding roads will be closed and locked down. There will also be chemical units in place. And then there's the thing about the things you can't bring into bethpage. It says, list of banned items at the Ryder Cup. These are the items they banned normally that they would let people have, but they're not. It's portable folding chairs, large vaping devices, torch-style lighters, metal and hard plastic insulated beverage containers, large umbrellas, small retractable umbrellas are allowed. Umbrella use may be restricted in certain areas, of course, in the main grandstand. Rain ponchos are strongly encouraged. All bags, personal items, and their contents may be subject to inspection. Laptops and tablets will not be permitted in the Bethpage Black Golf Course. But on Friday, September 26th, rangefinders will not be permitted inside the golf course. Anytime you have an event like this, there's a possibility that somebody will launch some type of biological or chemical weapon. Lane said it's present a danger to the public because it's going to be that hard to stop something like that. Nobody's going to be carrying a gas mask. But again, it comes to vetting people coming in and out of the site to make sure that they don't have anything like that. Timothy Miller, a former Secret Service agent with more than 3 decades of experience, warned, there will be security measures in place that are not visible. You won't be aware of them, he said. There are security measures behind the scenes in terms of protective intelligence that focus on any potential weak points. A series of restrictions are in place for thousands of fans heading to Bethpage Black Course. Measures have been enhanced because of Trump's scheduled attendance. So, rangefinders cannot be brought into the golf course, coinciding with the presidential visit. Large vaping devices and portable folding chairs are also banned, according to Ryder Cup chiefs. Officials have also warned that moving in and out of the Bethpage golf course will be tricky. Frozen spaces could be in place as part of efforts to manage flow. Chiefs have explained how Trump's attendance has caused difficulties. It says the hardest thing we'll have to do, probably Brian Kearns, the tournament director, told BBC Sport. Trump's presence is set to cause a stir, but Team USA golfer Scottie Scheffler has welcomed his appearance. Describing the commander-in-chief as a funny man, Scheffler said he loves the game of golf. He loves supporting golfers, and I get a text from him sometimes after wins saying, great job. That was one of the things I noticed a lot with the time I've spent with him. He treats everybody the same and treats people with the utmost respect. Whether you're the person or serving us lunch, or the caddy on the golf course, or the guy who's the president of the club, he treats everybody like they're the greatest person in the world. At least 250,000 spectators are set to attend the 3-day golfing spectacular, and fans have been encouraged to make use of public transport whenever possible. Long Island Railroad trains heading to Ronkonkoma will stop at Farmingdale Station. The station is located around 2.25 miles from the golf course. A free shuttle bus service will transport fans to the course. The Ryder Cup is being held at a time when the security threat facing the U.S. has never been as grave, according to Miller. We are a divided nation, he warned. Violence has become an everyday part of America's life, and we got to stop it. True. you just don't know anymore, man. You know, you walk outside and you walk outside and you go to something and you risk your life and you could be killed or shot or, you know, something could happen to you. It's like, you know, people don't think we're living in the end times and the last days. I don't know what to tell you. We are, man. We're officially living in that time. You go outside, you risk your life, you die. You can die or something can happen. But, you know, it said this stuff would happen in the last days, in the end times, and we're definitely living in that time. I remember, I grew up on The Walking Dead, right? If people don't know this, and I grew up on The Walking Dead, and I remember an episode in The Walking Dead that was like an old episode. Herschel Green in The Walking Dead, he was a very big advocate of the apocalypse in the end times, and he says in one of the episodes that he was quoting the end times, and he was saying, "Oh, you know, you walk outside, you drink the water, you risk your life. You do this, you risk your life. You do this, you don't die, you know." And it's like, and I think he said at one point, like, "Oh, I thought like maybe he had something, you know." Maybe there was something better in mind, right? You know, and stuff. So I don't know, but like, we got to be living in the end times, bro. We got to be living in the end times in the last days. There's no doubt about it. There's been a lot of shootings in recent memory, and a lot of people have been killed, and there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on with the world, man. You can't be too careful, especially with the president. 2 assassination attempts on his life, and people need to pray for our leaders, man. They're trying really hard, and the devil's trying really hard in these last days to cause problems, man. To take a stand in these final moments that we're in. Am I saying they're going to try to kill our president? No, but it wouldn't surprise me if they tried. If they tried to, wouldn't surprise me if they did try to. They didn't stop until they did. But like, you know, look, it's you got to look at it from that standpoint, man. These people are unhinged. They're messed up. Society's in a place right now where it's a really interesting place, and there's a lot of lawlessness in the world, man. Lawlessness is off the charts in this time, man. So you gotta look at like it. People, this is a very touchy subject, but some people just shouldn't own guns, man. Because it's not the guns that kill people, it's the people that have the guns that kill the people. Okay, you know, and everything. Banning guns ain't gonna change anything. I think that's one of the reasons why they shot Charlie Kirk, because they asked him a question. They said, "Bro, how many people have been transgender shooters in the last couple of years?" And he says, "Too many." And then he says, bro, and then he says to him, "How many shooters have there been? How many shooters have there been in recent memory in the last couple of years?" And then Charlie came out and said, "Counting or not counting gun violence, you know," and he got shot. So like, there's something that has to do with like that, bro. You know, like there's something to it. But I don't want to go into that subject, I guess. I'm not going to talk about that, but guns, we're living in some really, really crazy, interesting times. you know. And it's probably a good thing. It's probably a really good thing now more than ever to have God in your life and to have discernment in these times and to understand this stuff, man, and to be aware, paying attention, watching for the rapture and when it comes, because it's probably coming soon. And people need to be aware of this stuff, man. Because we live in a country run by very, very corrupt and evil people that want to take it down and destroy it, take away your freedoms, your guns, your rights, your ability to have a say in the matter. And we live in a country that's run by a very corrupt group of governmental people and individuals that run things behind the scenes. So you don't ever know, man. Be careful. No, they're not going to come out and tell you that they're not going to come out and tell you that they planned a Kennedy assassination and that they had set that all up. So, like, dude, look, I'm not going to say it. Look, the government's corrupt, and so are the people that run it. So, don't trust them, man, and don't believe anything they say. Indefinitely, we have a bunch of evil people running this world, this country. So, if you don't think they want to take away people's rights, people's freedoms, control people, and do whatever they want them to do, put them under the beast system or this system coming forward, but not only that, you don't think that they want to take away your ability to have a say and a voice, but also they don't want to take away your independence and your freedoms. I don't know what to say to that, man. You're living under a rock if you think that that's not the case. And they hate our country and they hate America. And they hate just everyday everyday God-fearing and God patriots and conservative people to stand up for these values and these rights. They hate us, bro. What makes you think if they come for our president, they're not going to come for us? They are. Bro, okay. These people are so corrupt, they don't want freedom, rights, and a democracy. They want a dictatorship, an authoritarian regime, and a communist rule. And to be able to take away everything, me and you have and support and believe until they can silence us, until they silence all of us, and then take away our guns and then do all these things. Guess who's behind a lot of that? Peter Thiel and Palantir. Guess who's backing Peter Thiel and Palantir? Donald Trump. Even if you don't like him, he's behind the whole concept of Peter Thiel and Palantir and the data centers and all the stuff with AI and people, man. Jeez. Look, as much as I don't like him, I don't want him to die, but he's got Antichrist vibes, man. He's got Antichrist vibes written all over him. Just saying. So, yeah, man, fuck the government. Don't trust whatever they say, man. They lie. They're run by some evil, corrupt people. The United Nations, the European Union, all these groups, the Illuminati, all these people, man, they're all part of one big organization that wants to take over the world and rule it, creating the New World Order and the coming beast. The coming beast system that wants to make it to where you can no longer buy or sell in the future and control you, make you have to take a mark, and they're ushering in the Antichrist. They're they're setting everything up for the Antichrist. And if you don't think Trump is another piece in the pot, they don't think Trump is another piece in the chess game they're playing. As another piece of the another piece of the chessboard they're playing where he's moving everything into place for the coming Antichrist. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think he is an Antichrist, but I definitely think he's setting it up. He's setting stuff up for the Antichrist, which is his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is the future Jewish Messiah, and he's the Antichrist. Jared Kushner is going to take over. That's something to back it, man. He backs that shit, right? He does. Trump is all part of that plan. He's not the Antichrist, but Trump definitely is an Antichrist. He's not the Antichrist, but he is an Antichrist. And the people that are backing him, they're Antichrist too, bro. This dude claims he's for America and the people. He's not for America and the people, dude. He's for Israel, supposedly bringing peace through strength and trying to get the war ended in Gaza. Trump is all about Trump and his legacy, and that's Abraham Accords. And when he and so he can get this Abraham Accords deal done and this stuff done, get Abraham Accords stuff done, and bring this stuff into place so that he can get that peace prize. Trump's all about setting up the Abraham Accords for the 7-year covenant. I just wish people would just understand. He's not for me and you. He's for himself and his legacy and what he wants to do, and that is to be the first president to bring peace to the Middle East and solve all the problems and to fix everything. And he wants to do it with Abraham Accords. And that's why he's talking about bringing peace and getting all these nations to join up with the Abraham Accords. And his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is behind all this shit, man. Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is behind all this shit. And he's just waiting to come, Jared's just waiting to come onto the scene and announce his arrival as an Antichrist and confirm that covenant. Jared Kushner's just waiting to come out from the shadows. So you know and everything, right? But, yeah. No, man. Trump's in his own self-interest. He's not about America. But we'll see what happens today. We'll see what happens today with Trump and Rader, and if anything happens to him. I'm gonna be looking more into that news, or I'm gonna be looking more into that stuff and see what's gonna happen with him and Rader at the Rader Cup today. But yeah, this dude's all about backing people like Palantir and all these AI technocratic companies and all these people and all these individuals. All these big head CEOs and people in it. No, bro. He's not for the people. He's not for America. He's not for me and you. He's for himself, AI, and all these other companies that are backing him, that are going to make not only him rich, but also make a lot of other things, spanning AI across the board, including with data centers. He's friends with Peter Thiel from Palantir. And Palantir is this AI, artificial intelligence driven thing that Peter Thiel is talking about doing, where he wants to, you know what? Fuck it. No, fuck it. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you. Peter Thiel was also talking about how he had a 3-part lecture on the Peter Thiel made a 3-part lecture talking about how he was talking about the Antichrist. You don't think that, like, I like Trump, but I am not an avid supporter of him, that's for sure. I like Trump, but I am not a MAGA. I am not a MAGA person, dude. Neither will I ever be. And if he is an antichrist, I don't want to be... Dude, if Trump is an antichrist, I don't want to be walking around with perdition's symbol on my head. I don't want to be walking around with the son of Satan's freaking symbol on my head, knowing that that's clearly what it is. You know, and everything. I don't want to be walking around with... I guess you say... You know, I don't want to be walking around with that on my head, so, you know. But anyway, oh yeah, watch this interview from Peter Thiel. It's very interesting. If you've never seen it, we'll show it to y'all. It says, Peter Thiel talking about the future of technology and AI. Having a problem with my network connection now. Peter Thiel also talks about the biblical end times and the Antichrist in this interview, which is pretty interesting. I never actually watched his lecture. Now I think about it, I might want to watch his lecture. Here it is. Peter Thiel on global surveillance state, power, and the coming of Antichrist. This is a very interesting video to watch.
We have the mechanisms that would make world government.
People believe this dude could be the Antichrist because he's got so much power behind technology and surveillance and AI.
Mechanisms.
So listen to this.
That would make world government a gigantic global.
And Donald Trump actually is behind Peter Thiel and Palantir. He is. And I have heard some stuff about Palantir with him. Damn it. It froze. Really? Now? Of course. Well, my computer froze, so give me a minute.
When President Donald Trump arrived at the United Nations in September...
No, that's not what I wanted.
We have the mechanisms that would make world government a gigantic global surveillance state.
So this
plausible.
is what I'll show you.
That seems plausible too. And then I think
This is him talking about this.
To come back to the Soloviev-Benson plot hole, on its own, they both seem not that desirable. Why would we have a crazy surveillance state? Why would we, why would we do this? But if you're scared enough of these things, that's the weapon. And this is sort of where my speculative thesis is that if the Antichrist were to come to power, it would be by talking about Armageddon all the time. And Peter Thiel, the Antichrist would talk about Armageddon all the time. He'd scare people and then offer to save them. Yes, it's the 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety. And so, which is nothing wrong with peace and safety, but you have to sort of imagine that it resonates very differently in a world where the stakes are so absolute, where the stakes are so extreme, where the the alternative to peace and safety is, Armageddon and the destruction of all things. And then that's where peace and safety gets you way more than it would have in 1750.
Rene Girard, in I Saw Satan Fall Like Lightning, one of his books. The Antichrist boasts of bringing to human beings the peace and tolerance that Christianity promised, but it
This wasn't what I was looking for. Anyway.
has failed to deliver.
There are probably, I think there are all these elements where it's downstream from Christianity. You can think of, the poor shall inherit the earth, Sermon on the Mount. Marxist theory is we're going to be more Christian, we're going to accelerate it, we're going to bring it about faster. So there is, the Antichrist probably presents as a great humanitarian, as a great, it's redistributive, it's as an extremely great philanthropist, as an effective altruist, all of those kinds of things. And
Detective James Comey also got indicted yesterday too. That was another thing that I wanted to talk about.
And these things are not, simply anti-Christian, but it is always when they get overly combined with state power that something is very wrong. There are sort of ways Christ wants to unify the world. You have the parable of the Good Samaritan, where you should take care of people even if you're not related to them, and it's good to act like the Good Samaritan and to take care of people not just in your family or tribe or country, but then if you force everyone to be a Good Samaritan and you force a borderless world, it's somehow adjacent. Somehow it's an intensification, but it's somehow also very much the opposite.
I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get started. It's 3:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 9:25:25, and I've got a word from the Lord. I've got some dreams. I'm just going to get into it. When I sat down to do this video, the Lord already titled it. He said, put this on this title, so this is what I wrote. And I titled it before I even did the video. Okay. Take everything to the Lord Jesus in prayer. Take and just talk to him about it. Ask him to show you in your Bible, your word. And I pray that, Holy Spirit, give me the words. And let the ears hear. Like parables, spoken to parables. It sounds confusion and weird to some people, but those that are here will hear it. Just like the mysteries of heaven, that it's foolishness. Jesus on the cross, and Jesus is God, and he rose again the third day in full body, and he's coming back, this man in heaven. What are you talking about? There's no heaven or hell. There's no God. That Jesus crucified on the cross and rising again is foolishness, and they're not able to understand it. God's got to open the eyes and the understanding. They have to ask for it. Their heart's got to call out for it. Seek and you will find, it shall be open to you. Right? Okay, so here we go. The enemy's surrounding around. Okay, I woke up with a knock at the door. I woke up with a knock from the door. Okay, and I went to the door, still in jammies, and it was two men. They've been to my house before, but with two different people. But now they sent two men to my house. It was Jehovah's Witness, okay? Now I speak out of love. And when I opened the door, I knew them exactly who they were because I had seen them before they had been. And I said, in these last days, these last seconds, these last minutes, the Lord's sending people to my door, right? And so I asked him, he tried to give me his magazine. And I said, no, it's okay, I don't need that. And so he was like, and I said,
Let's see this real quick.
what questions do you have for me? And it kind of took him.
New York, U.S. President Trump has just been speaking about Gaza. Let's listen.
Okay, so he brought his granddaughter with him, okay, to the Ryder Cup. We're very close to a deal on Gaza.
Pray for DJ's family. See you, Stephanie.
These were corrupt, radical left Democrats.
Deal 80 said. Deal number 8.
The Democrats are better than Tony. Help me on this. Look, it's my opinion. They weaponized
See you, Kathy.
the Justice Department like nobody in history. What they've done is terrible. And so I hope, frankly, I hope they're on this. You can't let this happen to a country. But it's a pretty easy case because, look, he lied. You saw my truth today. He lied. Yes. He didn't say, well, in my opinion, he didn't do a lot of things that maybe he should have, but I don't think he could because he lied.
Angela, good seeing
That
you.
was a very important question that he was asked. And he wanted to be specific, but he didn't. The only thing that happened to him, he didn't think he'd get caught. That answer that he gave, that was a very important answer. And it was very, for him, it was a very good answer if he didn't get caught. But he got caught lying to Congress.
Comey. Hope, good seeing you.
Are you worried now that the next time there's a Democratic president, they will indict your FBI director or your administration? That's what they tried to do, right? They did it with me for 4 years. They went after me. They went after me for 4 years, and that doesn't include
Hey,
the
Becky.
4 great years that we had in the White House. So when I ran it from,
Ginger, good
2016
seeing
when we
you.
won, it began before I got to office. You know that. Wait a minute. Before I came to office, I started hearing rumors about Russia. I said, what the hell do I have to do with Russia? Nothing. And then it got worse and worse, and some of the fakers, not you, but some of the fake news picked it up and they loved it. And we went through a long time with that. And despite that, we had a great first term. That's how it went, Jose. You go and take a mugshot. Is this more about justice or is it about revenge? It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it. And Comey was one of the people. He wasn't the biggest, but he's a dirty cop. He's always been a dirty cop. Everybody knew it. And it's, as far as the case is concerned, he gave an answer. It was a strong answer. He then verified it a couple of times because that was a very important answer. If he would have equivocated, if he would have been like a little bit less sure, that would have been very bad for him. So he gave an answer. The only problem is for him, he didn't think he'd be caught, and he got caught.
I want to take you to some pictures that we're seeing from New York. President Donald Trump has just been speaking about Gaza. Let's listen in.
Which is very exciting, and we'll be watching that. This is Kai, by the way, in case you didn't know how he is. And we'll be watching results. I think we have maybe a deal on Gaza. We're close to a deal on Gaza. We still feel like we have a deal on Gaza.
So this is breaking. He said that he has a deal on Gaza. He has a deal on Gaza. That's what he's saying. As you can see right here, Tony Blair is in discussion to run Transitional Gaza Authority. BBC understands this deal is on Gaza. This is, as you can see, Tony Blair. This is the person that met with Trump months ago. Tony Blair's discussion to run Transitional Gaza Authority. As you can see right here, he's the one that's met with Trump. As you can see right here, Tony Blair joined White House meeting with Trump in August. So this is the treacherous dealer, as I talked about right here. He's agreed with the Arabs. Now all he has to do is talk with Benjamin Netanyahu, and this is parting the land. As I said before, this is the treacherous dealer. I expect Trump to be, he said 8 also. He also said 8. Number 8, he said. Number 8, Peter. I think it will be deal that it'll be number 8, Peter. Very interesting. Number 8. So, good seeing everybody. This is the deal that I'm looking at. As I said before, this is it. MD, I did call you, MD. How you feeling? I called you to see if I could help. Pray for MD. Pray for DJ. DJ's grandchildren. Vivian. Thank you, Vivian. Thanks to my mods. I've been praying for you too, Vivian, for strength. I know you're moving and stuff. So this is the deal, the treacherous dealer. This is right here. It's right on schedule with the hurricanes. So hope everybody's doing well. God bless. Thanks, Vivian. God bless. Good seeing everybody.
Hi, I am so excited. I know that some of you who listen will be feeling dreadful, stupid, lied to, deceived, whatever. But wait, there is good news, yeah? Right, I'm going to stick my head above the parapet and I'm sure it's going to get shot at. But here we go. Joshua is still right. Let me explain. So on Monday, if you were watching Medic for Christ and Joshua and Friends live, you will know that by the end of the night, around 11:30 or 12, they were very weary, not looking too happy. Things weren't going as planned with the dates, the 23rd and 24th, crossing from one country to the other. It was getting a bit complicated, to be frank, and it was beginning to look like it wasn't going to happen. The next day in the evening, I decided to call it a no-show with my own online Bible study group. So I posted a message saying as much, and the doubters were, of course, the first to respond, with that verse that I'm sure we are all tired of hearing being misinterpreted by now. No one knows the day or hour. Oh dear. Anyway, it was all very disheartening, as we know. On my own channel, I have made lots of biblical calculations that point to this year. And with the current news events, it seems so certain to be this Feast of Trumpets. But it didn't happen. I am sure, like everyone else, my faith took a spiritual nosedive. And I entered into a realm of not understanding, complete blank. My joy was taken away from me. I was robbed of my joy. So why am I now sounding so upbeat to us? Yesterday I was thinking how it is unlike the Lord to let us come to shame. For example, Isaiah 54:4, fear not, for you will not be put to shame, and do not feel humiliated, for you will not be disgraced. God just doesn't do that to us. We might do it to ourselves, but he doesn't do that. Now, I'm a dialysis patient with kidney failure. My last dialysis session was Monday evening. Purposely, I chose that evening because of the rapture. I thought it was going to happen the next day. So today, on Thursday, I'm going back now this evening. And I have already tried to evangelize all the nurses and patients that I can ever get to talk to, even given out my own pamphlets explaining about the rapture and tribulation. So I was not looking forward to going back to dialysis this evening to face the ridicule. Anyway, this morning I was awake from 5 o'clock, looking at YouTube, listening again to the misery-faced scoffers. Either they're very serious and miserable, telling us we have been lied to or deceived, or they're laughing at us. One lady said we could not even be Christians if we had believed Joshua. Another that the devil had lied to everyone, including the children. Anyway, then I hit gold on YouTube when I came across this lady, the coal crew, saying that the rapture could happen today, the 25th, because the new moon was seen later than expected. I won't go into much detail about what she said, but she seemed very joyful and at peace, and her joy infected me, and I was uplifted. I will include her video link in the description. But then later on, I hit the jackpot when I came across a video made by Bro Scott, who was totally calm, upbeat, and intelligent sounding, as he explained to us that Joshua is still right. Hallelujah. This is what I'm going to get to. Oh my goodness. By the end of that video, I was laughing again, upbeat myself, and full of joy, back to the normal Susan. Thank you, Jesus. Let me try and summarize what he says. It's going to be a short summary, but I'll put the link below for you to watch yourself. Basically, it is to do with the calendars and how we are using the wrong calendar, not the one that Jesus uses, the Julian calendar, which relies on the sun and the moon. And so the rapture is yet to happen. I believe the dates are next month, on the 7th or 8th of October. At the same time, the dates correlate to our present Gregorian calendar dates on the 23rd and 24th. So Joshua was not wrong, because even the Jews are following the Gregorian calendar. So at that time in October, there will be a full harvest moon, and we are the ones that are going to be harvested.
It was around 20.
Sorry, I'm not explaining it too well. Please listen to it for yourself. It's amazing.
The Lord had told me.
I don't want this video to be too long, but let's look at some Bible verses for further encouragement. And let's start with the obvious one about the 10 virgins in Matthew 25 and how the groom was delayed. Matthew 25 verse 5. But while the groom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. And this verse is being fulfilled right now. People are turning away from their YouTube channels, making apologies on YouTube, looking really depressed and miserable. Listen, refill your oil. The Lord is still on his way. Refill your oil. We are yet going to be the 5 wise virgins. Refill your oil. The Lord is still on his way. Praise his holy name. I was reading some of the contents under Scott's video, and there were some very interesting observations and verses given, which I want to share. Proverbs 7, 19 to 20. My husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took his purse filled with money and will not be home till the full moon. Yep, the full moon. Psalm 81 verse 3. Sound the ram's horn at the new moon, and when the moon is full on the day of our festival. And somebody cleverly pointed out Tom Horn's vision of Apophis was for April the 13th, 2029. And when you extract 3.5 years, it comes exactly to October the 7th. Praise the Lord. John 16, 19 to 20. Jesus saw that they wanted to ask him about this, so he said to them, are you asking one another what I meant when I said, in a little while you will see me no more, and then after a little while you will see me? Very truly, I tell you, you will weep and mourn while the world rejoices. You will grieve, but your grief will turn to joy. Is that not our situation now? We have been weeping and mourning while the world has been rejoicing and laughing at us. But our grief will turn to joy. Praise the Lord. Matthew 24. Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Truly, I tell you, he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away a long time, and he then begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with drunkards. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
We're in the process of
the ones who believed in this September and Joshua's prophecy have been verbally beaten up, and even right now beating themselves up. Let's stop doing that. My final advice to the wise virgins is from Hebrews 10. Therefore, do not cast away your confidence, which has great reward. I'm sure I'll get a lot of backlash because of this video, but I don't care. I want to go home. I need to go home. And I will go home shortly to be with the Lord. And no, that is not a prophecy of my death, but of my rapture. Thank you, Jesus.
Hi, everyone. This is James.
For the right to work.
by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom.
I wanted to hear that. I can't pause the other video because...
The message really
Okay,
did go out. We really are in the end times. It was around 2021 during the COVID lockdowns that the Lord had told me the seals were going to open, and he put a pause. It was in 2024. It was at that time where the shots were mandatory worldwide. And I heard the Holy Spirit say, pause. It was on 12/6/24 where I got a prophetic revelation and word, the pause has been lifted. Interesting, it says, Watchman warning the WF will remove the pause we are in. Also seeing the number 23. Here's the same video. So what I was saying was that in these prophecies, and these are prophecies, over on Rumble, YouTube went into a thing where they just started removing all videos related to the snake bite. It was called the 21 Delta prophecy. All these are on Rumble. That I said that what they would do is they would take the mandatory vaccine and apply it to a vaccine passport, and then they would create a digital ID, and the digital ID would be tied to your bank account. We're in the process of that. This head of the UK is talking about making the digital ID mandatory as of today. I want to show you a couple things. The pause has been lifted. Everything's going to fall into place now.
Today, I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Did you hear that? The prophecy's coming true. All these prophecies are coming true. Also, over in China, these people are in line at a subway for their vaccine passport to be verified. They can't board the subway until their vaccine passports are verified. This is all coming true. The Lord gave me a scripture. It says, woe to those judges who issue unrighteous decrees, and to the magistrates who cause unjust and oppressive decisions to be recorded. This is a woe. To turn aside the needy from justice and make plunder of the rightful claims of the poor of my people, that widows may be their spoil and that they may make the fatherless their prey. I want to continue this documentation. It's Friday. I usually do Watchman Warning updates on Friday. I'll continue to warn as the Holy Spirit leads. God bless you.
Hey, my friends, welcome back to my channel. And the cool thing about following the Bible, not making stuff up as you go and not telling people what you think or what you can prove from the Bible, is you won't be wrong because the Bible's always right. And I've done this on my channel for the last 22 years. I'll do it until the day I can't do it anymore. I believe the genesis of the Antichrist, one world religion, has just been announced at the UN. We know we're in the last days, not because we're making up things and because we believe something's going to happen in a certain way. It's because we see the convergence of signs, which shows us we're in the last days. There's no doubt about that at all. That is a indisputable point for Christianity. And we know that in the tribulation, there'll be a one world government and a one world religion. And the Antichrist will run everything, but his false prophet will be the guy who utterly oversees the religion, but the Antichrist will still be in charge. The UN just had all the religions of the whole world get together, and they agreed that over the next few years they want to, they would even work on this for the next few years, and make all religions together to make a one world religion. You can't make this stuff up, it's unbelievable. And again, they're looking at 2030 as a terminal time. Again, 2030, everything is pointed at 2030. And
when I went to study,
is looking to be really
and it's not fun.
Really
it's not fun.
And
I've been there before. I've been there in the past. I was there about a year ago, but not
just so
right. Not currently at this place. But
and we need to understand. We need to
yeah, it's not fun.
Every second of every day. I'm not trying to say it's going to happen on this day or that day.
You're kind of put together with a bunch of people.
That day or this feast or that feast or this time or that time.
You know,
just
watch
every
TV,
second
like
of every
art,
day,
do more games,
the
do
rapture to happen.
group therapy sessions, and you do lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, and you do a bunch of stuff like that. You get your own room.
The rapture of the church is getting out of here, out of this mad.
And they give you pillows, but the pillows are just not
and get to go to heaven and be
worth sleeping on. And
each other, our family and friends, and just be.
It's just not worth
happy
it.
to be away from here. I can't wait. I know you can't wait.
It's not worth
It's just.
it. And then you barely get any comforters, bed covers,
God's word. Stay in God's word. Focus on God's word. Focus on what's in
at that place, and
focus on staying in God's word.
When you manage to sleep,
living our lives.
You don't sleep well.
Those flames filled with the Holy Spirit for the Bible.
Because I was taken there on the corridor, which I didn't realize this until the last second. I was actually taken there on the corridor.
Video. No one's guaranteed more time.
Taken away on the corridor to go there to get help, to get medicine.
Pull my heart and look up. True Christians are different doors from the flash. See me. God bless you.
I will, man.
Thanks for watching and sharing. I'll see you next time.
I was struggling up a storm and didn't know what to do and was ready to quit. I was ready to get better. I wasn't sure what was So I kind of took a toll on me because, dude, I just kind of let it bypass me. I let it bypass me.
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Was so
Yeah, but I'm not
only interested in looking at
at
watching for the end times in the rapture that I completely just.
There's been enough. It's time to stop.
That I completely just went
So
over
those were
everything.
some serious, very
Pretty much
serious
just-
words from our president. I
Everything
do
pretty
not
much
agree
just kind of
with.
just.
And we'll talk about that
Went
so much
away, you know,
more
and-
today. There was a lot of trouble in this
I was
world.
in there and I had some time. I was in there and
My
I
name
had
is
some
Tom,
time to
and
think
you're
about
watching
that
the
place.
Watching
That's
River
why
Channel. I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. I
I'm
hope
probably
you're
going to do
well.
things differently going
Before I
forward,
begin, I
guys.
want to remind you
Really,
that I am not a prophet. I
Yeah.
am not a pastor. I am just a
I
guy
gotta
sitting
take
here
time
in
off.
my
I'm
mobile
probably
office in the
take
middle of
time to
Connecticut
stay
by
back
the
to
river
YouTube.
talking about Jesus.
I'm not going to upload like I used
Before we
to
get into
anymore.
our chat today, let's read Psalm 27. Okay, the
I'm
Lord is
trying
my
to
light
rededicate my life
and my
to
salvation. Whom shall I
studying for
fear?
a career and
The Lord is the strength of my life.
something
Of
more
whom
to,
shall I be afraid?
you know, in
When the
my
wicked
life,
came against
to
me,
do
to eat
something
up
to
my
make
flesh, my
something
enemies
of
and foes,
myself,
they
and
stumbled and fell. Though
try
an
to
army
live
named
life
camp
myself and
against me,
everything,
my
and,
heart shall not fear.
probably going to study for my
Though
top
war
10
may
or
rise
something.
against me, in this I will be confident.
And probably going
One
to
thing I have desired of the
maybe
Lord,
consider some
will I
other
seek,
options
that
and
I may
things
dwell in the
future,
house
do
of
other
the Lord
things.
all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the
um,
Lord, and to inquire in
to
his
help me have a
temple.
better life.
For in the
and
time of
see
trouble
better
he shall hide me in
Yeah,
his
I was.
pavilion, in the secret place of his tabernacle.
I got to a
He
couple
shall
times
hide
where I didn't know
me.
what to do.
He
and
shall
how to
set me
do
high
it.
upon a rock.
It got very bad.
And now my head shall
you
be
know,
lifted
and
up
so
above my enemies
it was
all
not
around
good.
me.
And
Therefore
so
I will offer sacrifices of
I almost
joy
gave
in
up.
his tabernacle.
I
I
almost
will
gave
sing,
up.
yes, I will
Just
sing
felt like I was
praises to
forced
the
on
Lord.
stuff I didn't know what to do.
Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. When you said,
I did
seek
feel
my
suicidal
face,
at the time, and I did
my heart
feel
said
like
to
I
you,
was
your face, Lord, I will
struggling with
seek.
stuff.
Do not hide your
And,
face from me. Do
yeah,
not turn your
it's
servant
not
away
easy.
in anger. You have been
And
my help. Do not leave me nor forsake me, O God.
I feel
my
like these
salvation.
rapture channels.
When my
and
father
these
and my
people,
mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a smooth path.
They
because
ruined
of
my life, man. They made things
Do
harder
not
for me. They
deliver
made
me
things
to
a
the
lot
will
worse
of
for
my
me. They
adversaries, for false
completely just took
witnesses
me
have
out of
risen
wanting
against
to
me,
live
and such as
and do
breathe out
anything. You know,
violence.
life seemed pointless.
I would have
you know.
lost heart unless I had believed
These
that I would see
channels
the goodness
have
of the
pretty much
Lord in
sucked
the land of the living.
the
Wait
life
on
out
the
of me and the
Lord.
happiness out of me.
Be of good courage, and he
You
shall
know, and I feel
strengthen
like
your
they've ruined
heart.
my life,
Wait, I
man,
say,
because now
on the Lord.
all I've done is all I've done was just
Just
wait
beautiful.
for
Beautiful song.
the rapture and the
Same
gate
here.
and Feast of Trumpets and Rosh Hashanah and all these
Amazing
things.
times
Just
in this world.
all I've
As
done
I am seeing
is
every
just
single
wait
thing aligned.
and watch
I'm
for
waiting for Jesus day by
the
day
second
right
coming
now.
or the return.
Because
While
we
not
are
really
living
doing
in an
anything here,
incredible time.
not really occupying or doing anything with
Signs
my
are
life.
converging like
you
I've
know,
never seen
so
before.
I lost all age.
So, as you saw in the
lost
clip
all
at the top of this video,
interest in
President
my
Trump said,
hobbies.
I
I
will
lost
not
all
allow Israel to
interest in
take
anything I
the
did.
West
I
Bank.
didn't like anything anymore.
There's been enough.
I
It's
didn't
time
have
to
anything I
stop
wanted
now.
more than this words.
President Trump,
I
that's
didn't
God's
care for
land.
things.
Give it to his people thousands
Stuff
of
became
years ago.
close to me,
You're going to have to lay
and
your
I just
hands
really
on
wanted to
it.
leave this world.
But we're living in the last
And I didn't
days.
care,
We're
you know,
watching the entire
and
world turn
I
against
got
us.
fed up with everything, and I just wanted to just give up.
It's amazing.
And
Amir Sarfati said,
including my
President
best
Trump
friend,
will not allow Israel to impose sovereignty over the
my
biblical
friend, my
heartland of
buddy Trav,
Israel.
you know, we used to play a
It's
lot.
not the
and we
West
used to hang
Bank,
out and
it's
play a lot
Judea
together, but
and
then when he
Samaria.
left my life,
It's where
we used to
Abraham,
hang out
Isaac,
like,
and Jacob and the stories of
lie.
most of the
It
Old
got harder because I didn't have
Testament took
anyone. I
place.
felt alone.
And Amir
Depressed.
said, I'm not surprised. The pressure from
So,
Saudi Arabia,
I was going through
Turkey,
a hard time. I
Qatar,
didn't have
Egypt,
anyone
France,
around.
UK, and
So I kind of
Canada
isolated
was
and
too
kind of
much
stayed
for
by
him.
myself and kind of
I hope he has a change of
not
heart,
around many
change of
people.
mind. But we will see. Right now, as I am speaking right now,
And
Netanyahu
it's
is
better,
addressing
you know.
the United Nations at this very moment. In fact, I can probably click
But-
on the live video.
yeah,
Hear where it's talking.
channels like Global Rapture Watchers and Watchman River and, you know,
Hey.
Watchman Adam News Channel,
Hey.
Rico Man 64,
Hey.
you know, Truth Seeker,
He's giving a pop quiz.
Jason Truth Seeker,
Hey.
God
I
a
don't want
Minute,
to keep
all these
playing that
people, you
because
know.
anybody
And I
can
like
get
them.
find that. But
I
he's
thought they were,
speaking
I
right
thought
now.
they
He's
were
addressing
legitimate
the
channels.
world
I thought they were right about
from
stuff,
the
and I
UN.
thought that they were.
And
I thought they had a point, but now I don't know.
It's
So I feel like now that these things have passed,
really amazing. This is
And
beginning of Sorrow's
we
news
see
shared
that
this late
nothing's
last night.
happening. I'm
Danny
beginning to
Dana
wonder. I'm
is
beginning
the
to
ambassador
really
to
re-question
the
things
UN.
about my life.
He said, I was happy to
wonder about
welcome
things
Prime Minister
going forward.
Netanyahu
Beginning
and his
to
wife
wonder.
Sarah upon their landing
Beginning
in
to
New
really
York.
think about doing things differently.
This is an
than going
important
forward.
visit for the
Don't
state
go
of
in there.
Israel, especially
And stuff,
at this
but-
point in time, when too many
Well,
false
that's been
voices
changed. I
are
don't
heard
know.
from the UN podium.
But
Tomorrow, meaning
well,
right now, the Prime
we
Minister's
had
speech at the
September
General
22nd,
Assembly
nothing
will
happened.
strengthen our position and
Except
make
they
it clear to the
recognized
world
Palestinian
Israel
state
is
on that
fighting
day.
in all
Yes,
fronts
it's
and
September
that
23rd,
security
Donald
is
Trump's
not up
speech,
for
which
debate.
really wasn't as big
Very
as people
interesting.
that
The Palestinian delegation to the UN is urging other representatives to stage a walkout during Prime Minister's speech today. Not sure
And
if
then
that
had a 24,
happened.
which
We will find
a
out.
lot of people said was going to
But
be
it's
the day
surprising,
where
you know.
the
And
Jews
also,
celebrated
while he
Rosh
was
Hashanah,
on the wing of
and,
Zion, his plane, he directly that he ordered an attack on Yemen yesterday. Melvin is en route to the United States, and the attack focused on Houthi command centers and war material depots in Sana'a.
The New Year holiday in
It began a massive strike, and it was about 2 o'clock-ish
And we're going like 100 trumpets, and they're going to broadcast it live.
In Yemen, the biggest one yet. Some 20 Israeli Air Force fighter jets dropped more than 65 munitions on Houthi targets in Sanaa over the afternoon, marking the highest number of munitions used in a single IAF strike in Yemen, according to the military. In all, 7 targets were struck, including 5 military headquarters where Houthi operatives were gathered, and 2 weapon storage facilities.
And everything worse. And now,
so that went on. Israel's Defense Minister Katz said, "We have just dealt a powerful blow to many terror targets of the Houthi terrorist organization in Sanaa as part of the Operation Passing Package." The IDF attacked several military camps, including...
Because I feel like now, God was warning me over and over and over and over and over again, get away from this stuff and not be involved in it, not pay attention to it, stop watching it all the time. Stop. Pay attention to it, stop. Stop getting into it. Stop consuming it all the time. And, I feel like now, I'm kind of screwed. And God is judging me for what I've done. He's judging me for what I've done. Judging me for what I've done and everything. And He's like making me have to pay for something I've done wrong, and I didn't listen to what He told me to do. So now I have to suffer the consequences of what I've done. And He's not going to, no matter how many times I try to pray to get myself out of this situation or try to fix it, I don't know if He will fix it or if it will get better. I'm not convinced. I'm convinced God is letting me have exactly what I wanted. And that is, eventually, you keep following the ways of stuff. Even if you're a believer and you're saved and you're born again, God will turn you over to a reprobate mind or reposed mind. To follow the desires of your own wants and what you choose to do. In other words, I think it says to follow the desires of the flesh, but yeah, and drag you to that. But eventually God will turn you over to your own way of doing things, and it's never a good thing to fall directly into the hands of God, because if you fall directly into the hands of God to make a decision on what to do, on where to go with things, it's never a good thing. It's never a good thing to merely fall into God making the decision, And so yeah, in a nutshell, I feel like my fate's already screwed and I'm done for, man. I'm done for, and there's no coming back from any of this. I'm not going to be the same ever again. I'm not going to say it again. I feel like this is my punishment. This is what I deserve. This is what I'm about to have to face. And to a degree, this is my fate, that I have to live with now. Living like this. Instead of listening to half of the people that told me to do things I did it. And now I'm still here with this. So, this is my fate. Me having to face or own up to my own slice of hell, my own consequences, decisions, my own perspectives with the stuff that I'm currently dealing with now. And I don't know. But I convinced God's punishing me, or He's made me have to go through certain things I didn't understand or get at first. Or maybe I will over time. And it's kind of escalated and gotten a lot more interesting and different and difficult. Ever since I came home that day with that virus, it's just been nothing but it's just been nothing but stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. It's been very interesting. and I'm not so sure this is it. I mean, this is truly the end, and what's going to happen. So I'm not sure, but yeah, guys, keep me in your prayers, man. I need you right now. I need y'all to be praying for me and asking God to help me get through these things. And it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot, and I don't know if I can do it. And I really do feel like I am. I'm literally stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I kind of am, in a sense, about to be judged for what I've done because I have no choice. I can't back out of this now. I can't get rid of it. I can't just stop doing it. I can't just quit because now I'm stuck in this hole I put myself in, or I'm stuck in this hole that I got myself into. It wasn't really my fault, but I got myself into, and I don't know if I can get out of it now. I don't know if there's a way out, but says not to stress. God will work it all out, and He'll figure it out, and He'll do it in His time. So we'll see. He says whatever people take as bad for you, whatever people take as bad for you, I will turn it into good. I will turn it around for good and for your favor. So, do not worry or get nervous or anxious, but with everything through prayer and supplication, and everything. So, I'm going to trust God that this is what He wants, this is His plan. Maybe this is what He has in mind to use for certain things and my benefit, but I don't know.
For those of you who don't know, I've now been doing YouTube full time for the last 3 months, maybe 4 months, and that's primarily due to the part that I started offering coaching. Like I started helping guys develop themselves as men, break free from things like lust, and just being passive, just being effeminate in general. And a lot of guys want to attract a godly woman into their life. A lot of the coaching revolves around helping to develop yourself as a man so that you can become ready to be a good man and follow Jesus and fulfill your purpose, but also attract a godly woman in your life so you can get married one day. And last week, I got a message from a guy who I really respected and looked up to for a very long time in the similar space.
In the past, and this time though, I had no choice. Like when you're on court order, you can't voluntarily choose not to do this stuff. You have to do it, and if you don't do it, they'll make you either stay another week or you'll have to continue to be there. And if you don't comply or agree to what they want you to do, then, well, they'll force it on you through a shot or through something else, especially if you don't take the pills or the medicine. But, yeah, I don't recommend it because you end up coming home confused. You end up coming home more confused than you went when you got there because of all the stuff that they tell you to do. And I was already confused as all get out to begin with, but yeah, man, it's nuts. It's nuts. I've never taken that much medicine in my life. I've never been involved in any of that. It's just nuts. It's crazy. There were people there at that place too that took medicine, but not like me, for sure, not like the way I was made to do it. Because they had a certain amount of pills they would take. It would be limited, but it was only certain ones that they were told. They were given either by their doctor or given by certain people, but it wasn't necessarily just taking different types of medications and stuff like this. But yeah, I felt like a lab subject, man. Yeah, first they drew my blood, and then they took an EKG and they did all that in the ER. And then the next couple of days after I got there, the third day they drew blood again, and then they made me have to take Prozac, and then during the day or in the morning, and then Risperdal, which is a mood stabilizer pill, or it's supposed to help you sleep at night, and then it's just all this cycle went on and on, and it was crazy. And being in a psychiatric world really makes you think about a lot of things and wonder, are you really mentally ill? Or are they just trying to force stuff on you to make you, are they just trying to force medicine on you or force you to take medicine because they think it will help you, or it'll be better? Because to me, it feels to me like they just kind of just force me to take it and thinking that would help me be better as a person. Function better, I guess. But really got me thinking that I'm not really mentally ill. I have problems with anxiety, depression, and other things and conditions, but, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't recommend going there. And if you do, go there voluntarily. Don't have someone force you to go by police or cops, or even be arrested and taken by a cop car to be taken up there in the ER, because it's not a nice experience. It sucks, and it worries you. You're gonna get, you'll get really worried when you have cops surrounding your room, not knowing what's going on. So, yeah. And another thing I learned too, while being in psych, is don't ever tell them that you're suicidal or you want to hurt yourself or hurt someone else, because if you do, that'll give them a reason to keep you there longer. They will. And that's the number one thing. Especially if you come voluntarily and you say, I'm suicidal, or I have thoughts of killing myself or hurting someone else. That gives them the right to be able to detain you and keep you in the hospital for a certain amount of days. So yes, don't do that. If you go there voluntarily, you can check yourself in and you can leave after a certain amount of days. You don't got to stay there for a week, or you don't got to stay there for a certain amount of time. And you're not forced to have to agree to the treatment they give you. It's voluntarily. You can stop at any time if you come in yourself to you come in by yourself to get treated. Like the ER, like the emergency room. You come in the emergency room to get treated for something, or something's going on with you. You can voluntarily stop treatment at any time, according to the thing. So, if you come into the ER, if you come into the hospital, the ER, and want to check yourself into a psychiatric facility or check yourself into a hospital to get help, you can choose to not accept treatment while you're there, compared to if you're on a court order, or you're detained by a judge, or you're being held for something like that. You have no choice but to take what they give you, participate in group, and do all that stuff. That is voluntarily a thing. If you check yourself in if you come in by yourself, or you go there by yourself, or someone takes you there and you choose to say you want to be checked in for treatment, but you have to tell them you want to be, compared to when someone actually decides to do it themselves and take you there. and you get the police involved or the ambulance or something. So, yeah, it's not fun. And then I believe one night they gave me, they take all this medicine day in and day out. My stomach was bothering me on that. My stomach was bothering me while I was in there, and so I took some of the medicine upset my stomach. So yeah, it was not a great experience. I don't recommend going there unless you have to. And I was poked and prodded and stuck and messed with, and all these things. They check your vitals too. They do a bunch of all sorts of stuff. They check your temperature. They go through the whole shebang of all that, and then they draw blood. And then they say the only people that are given shots are the ones that do not agree to take the medicine while they're there, if they have to take it, and the doctor tells them to take it, or like they're made to take it by the doctor or the physician or the psychiatrist, and if they agree to take it. If they don't agree to take it, then they have to be. Then they say they either have to be held down or they have to be given it to them in shot form. And so I don't really know what really happened, but on the last day, on one of the very last days I was there, they injected me with a shot of Risperdal, or whatever this medicine was, saying that it would take 30 days for it to come into your body. It would take 30 days for it to take effect in your body and to work. So I don't know. They tell me that they still want me to take the pills for it despite getting the shot. So I was like, I don't understand why you have to take the pill when you already got the shot, because what's the point in a shot? What's the point in a pill if you've already taken the shot? It's like, you got the shot, you don't need the pill. So they're saying that maybe the effects are going to be the effects are going to be pretty slow instead of taking the pill. So I don't know, but yeah, it is very interesting. What you do in a psychiatric facility, if you don't know, basically, you've never been there, is go there, you get treatment. Some people get medicine. Some people just stay there and are held for a certain amount of time until they go home and leave, make sure they're okay or they're functional enough to participate in modern society or in the world and can function normally. Or they're able to just, live life normally like other people without having to be in the hospital. And so what ends up happening is you can either go in voluntarily, or you can be taken in by the police or an ambulance, or you can be detained under the court or under the law, like the state and everything, where they determine what happens with you and and the things you do while you're there. And they have certain people that they have you see and talk to and associate with and tell things to let them know, along with them giving you certain medications and things that you take while you're under this order. So, and everything. And you have to comply with everything they tell you to do, including the doctors, the nurses, the judge, the psychiatrist, all these people. You have to comply with all the things they tell you to do, because if you don't, you're going to have to stay there another week or another couple of days, And you have to do it because it's under the judge and under the system. They said that you have to participate, because under a court order, you don't really have another option but to comply with the state and in what the judge and certain people say, including the person that, the individual that was representing me, my attorney. He told me the same thing. I can't.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna take a nap?
I've got no choice in the matter. I mean, I really don't really have much of a choice.
But eggs won't keep.
I don't know. I guess we'll
Do
see
you
how
want to
this
eat
goes.
and then
But,
take your nap? Why don't you eat, take your medicine, and then take your nap? Okay.
so I've done both now. I've
Does
done
that sound
both
okay?
now. I went in there. I went in there voluntarily a couple years
What?
ago, and now I've ended up being taken in without any say in the matter. I've been to both hospitals. I'd say that probably the one I was at was a lot nicer, and they were more friendlier and more chill and relaxing, and less monitoring and lenient on what we did, and they didn't really monitor or watch over everything we did, and really let us do our own thing, besides group and all that other stuff. But yeah, and the staff was pretty nice and friendly, and they were pretty good, and they were very helpful, and for the most part I got pretty good care while I was there, despite, the bed being uncomfortable and the room and all that stuff and things, and a lot of stuff like that. They were very generous on the food too, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and including they gave out snacks a lot at certain times of the night. So if you got hungry, they would always give out snacks. Like they gave out snacks at certain parts of the night. So they were very generous with food and stuff, and so they were very helpful and stuff, food, drink, and all that and stuff and things. So making sure none of us really starved, even after we had, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But yeah, that's pretty cool. They were also really very nice about the shower too. Some places that you go to, it's like afterwards in the past, from my experience, I'm 28. They're very rushful. They're very rushful. They're very, very not lenient. They're very, very strict. They're very, very big about a schedule and getting you to get, and pushing you to get in bed on time, turn the lights out. And they're also very big about monitoring you and watching you do certain things, so they can make sure you'll cooperate. I guess they didn't really see us as being anything. I guess they didn't really see a lot of us as being a problem, or really didn't have nobody there was really any issue for them. So they just let us do our own thing and was very lenient and just let us kind of just do things according to our own time, past scheduled things, and we weren't really. There was a schedule, but we really didn't go by it. We were given a schedule, but we really kind of did things on a certain basis. But the nurses and the doctors, people there were very friendly and very lenient. When it came to shower time too, they were very lenient. Very lenient indeed. They were like, you can travel from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to like 6:30, or 7 p.m. to like 9, and then like 7 a.m. in the morning to like 6, to like 9 o'clock a.m. I think is what it was. It's the thing is, when we got there, they didn't give us our toiletries and our shower stuff until later on in the weekday. I got there on the weekend. I got there. So I got to kind of chill and relax and just do my own thing there the first 3 days. But I got there on the weekend. I got taken up on Saturday of the 20th, that night. It was like midnight, people were sleeping. And so I got to pretty much, let's see, I think it might have been Friday. Yeah, Friday, maybe Friday. and then Saturday and Sunday. And I think they gave us our shower stuff. I think on Wednesday or Thursday. So, and everything about the showers. They want you to shower every once a day, put on deodorant, keep your body healthy, stay clean, hygiene, all that stuff. So, good things. Change scrubs, take care of yourself, stay clean, things like that. They had out towels and shampoo and all that stuff and things. They put it in this bucket, this box, and hang out towels and stuff. So the shower was very lenient. Very, very lenient about the shower. They were in this. They were not in a rush to make you have to leave or anything like that. So it was nice, but the staff, they were pretty cool, and it was nice, and they were friendly, and the snacks and the food, everything were generous and everything. People were and stuff. And despite having to take the medication, things there were not all that bad, but it was still kind of, at times, can be kind of difficult and hard. And a stroke, especially the medicine, at night when I would take certain stuff, I couldn't sleep very well. So, but other than that, I think it helped improve my mood, do me a solid to get away for a while, talk to people, socialize, maybe get to know some individuals, hang out with people besides being alone and isolated, and just kind of got used to kind of was able to adapt to it and understand it. But it was nice. It was not a bad experience, except for being forced to take the medicine and the shots and being stuck by the needles and all that other stuff. But other than that, it was fairly good. My favorite parts about that place, I have to say, probably were we got control of the remote. They didn't tell us what to. They didn't let us know. They didn't. Well, okay, I wouldn't say that, but for the most part, but we got to choose what we wanted to watch and what we wanted to see on TV, mostly, because most of us were above 18 and older. We were pretty much adults. Most of us were adults there, and we got to watch whatever we wanted, TV time, till about 7, and then you had quiet time, and people went away to go do their own thing, and then they checked vitals, and then we got snacks, and then we went to bed. So, and shower time, being able to shower in the morning and just do that, especially with certain times when I couldn't sleep, to able to wake up and be able to come back, show up the group, but at certain times, and even if you were late, they were not very strict about you being late, so and showing up at a certain time, so that was nice. And showers were nice, showering was nice, it was relaxing after a long day, certain things, and sometimes help you sleep and deal with things better and stuff. TV room and a lot of other stuff, and so, and they were not very strict on naps too. You could leave the room and then come back later when you were not tired or you were not sleepy anymore. They didn't have a problem with you going to catch a nap before coming back for lunch or dinner or fruit. But yeah, they were very chill. It's kind of like college, where college are kind of like an experience where you agree to receive these things as a patient and you're voluntarily signing agreements to come, you're signing papers to let them treat you and do certain things, or you agree, and so they try to give you the best possible care they can give you and stuff, including with food and hygiene and all that. So yeah, in a sense, it's sort of kind of like you letting you do whatever you want to do, as long as you follow as long as you follow the certain things they tell you to do, and for you to go along with, including medicine and group and all that. So there are very many things they want you to do there. There are very many things that they want you to agree to do there. They do not ask for much, except medicine, group therapy, and showing up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's it. You can shower, you can play games and do whatever you want in the TV room or in the break room, the dining room they call it, and you can go and sleep and take naps and do whatever. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty simple and easy, I guess you could say, for the most part. It's not a big deal, but I don't know. I might just step away from YouTube for a while, man, and gather my thoughts and try to work out what I'm going to do going forward. But I'm going to probably try to fix some stuff. Got to get this network thing working. And, you get to watch whatever you want to watch, TV shows, like, you can watch Amazon Prime, you can watch YouTube, you can watch game shows, you can do watch a lot of things. Pretty much whatever's on the television, you can watch it. But they do have they do have certain things you have to follow where some TV shows are not allowed in certain instances there due to certain content. So yeah, but like it just depends. But they don't usually tend to monitor or restrict or mess with what you watch at that place when it comes to TV. But the staff is pretty cool and nice and friendly, and for the most part, I like the staff. I like the people that treated me, and they were very helpful. I like the snacks, I like the food. I thought that, it's very, very lenient and nice. Very lenient and nice when it comes to food and everything, getting out at night and stuff. The showers and everything and all that stuff. So also, if you manage to show
and he
up
basically was discouraging me against doing what I've been doing. Like, oh, dude, you're doing like borderline gay stuff, man. Like, God's calling you so much higher. Like, give up on the dating stuff, man. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you don't have a girlfriend, yada yada. It's basically,
we're wiping out the terror regime of Hamas and ensuring that this savagery will never threaten Israel. That's what we are doing. That's what any self-respecting government would do. Yet over time, many world leaders buckled. They buckled under the pressure of a biased media, radical Islamist constituencies, and anti-Semitic mobs.
And they're not going to hold you down.
There's a familiar saying.
And they're definitely not going to hold you down.
When the going gets tough,
they're not going to try to restrain you or do stuff to you right there.
Well, for many countries here, when the going got tough,
they tell you to do.
You caved.
Those are only for people.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just moments ago addressing the United Nations. He delivered a powerful message to Hamas, the hostages still held in Gaza, and detractors of Israel's war efforts. And just before his speech, this happened.
And those are also kind of out of control patients. Those are kind of for patients out of control that try to
please
fight
order in the hall.
cause a problem. So.
Please order in the hall.
So that was a moment as dozens of delegates they couldn't stay to listen to the speech and they had to walk out of the room in protest. Mark Levin is the host of Life, Liberty, and Levin. He joins us now. And just before I get your reaction, Mark, President Trump spoke from the White House. He might have made a little bit of news. Let's listen to him here about a possible deal with Gaza.
I think we have a deal on Gaza.
I don't go back, but I like it there. It wasn't like it was better.
It's looking like we have a deal on Gaza.
But they really, with medicine.
I think it's a deal that will get the hostages back.
It's going to be a deal
Will end the war.
Shots.
It's going to be a deal with, it's going to be a peace. I think we have a deal. That'll be number 8, Peter.
Mark, I misspoke. I said a deal with Gaza. Obviously, it would be on Gaza. Do you know anything more about that?
So you're basically the only door you have is the door.
A little more, but the president contacted me right before Benjamin Netanyahu's speech. I don't really feel comfortable discussing what he spoke with me. I will say this. This reporting that he and Netanyahu were loggerheads is completely false. I mean, he didn't have a harsh word to say about Netanyahu. There was no animosity whatsoever. He really likes him. I know they like each other. I was in Israel last week for a totally different matter. Spent time with Benjamin Netanyahu. I spent time with the president once, with the president. These are two great men. They're not really about picking fights with each other. They know they're on the same side of history. They know how important what they're doing is. President Trump is well aware, as the biggest supporter Israel has ever had, that they are surrounded by enemies. He tries to work with a number of these Arab states and so forth and so on. But I will say this. I don't know what this situation is, but there has to be three things. Hamas is gone. The hostages are out, and Israel's security is non-negotiable. It's that simple. If that's what the deal is, God bless them.
We will have to stay by my door and watch me while I changed into my outfit to go up to psychiatry. So yeah, it was interesting experience this time around because I've never really been to that place. So the staff was a lot better than the staff was a lot better than the staff I remember seeing the last time I went to the last time I went there. Staff is a lot nicer.